Hello, hello, hello. Sync, sync, sync. Hello and welcome back to Film by Zeb and to episode 17, which means that after this we're only 3 away from my goal, which is very exciting. Today I am giving my answers to some of the questions that you left for me. Most of these questions came from Instagram, but I also got some in the YouTube comments. So, let's jump into them. To start with, Rosie asked what program I use to edit my videos. I usually use Final Cut Pro, but I've also started experimenting a little bit with Adobe Premiere and After Effects, but I'm still learning on those. Final Cut Pro is definitely the main one I use to make all my videos. Steliata, if I'm pronouncing that right, asks about the music I use in my videos. So I talked a little bit about this in my mini-series where I talk about how I edit, but basically the music I just come across when I'm listening to music, and I'll save the ones that I like, that I feel like would be good in my videos. I have a little Spotify playlist, and then I use iTunes to store all of my songs for my videos, and then Spotify is where I store the songs that I actually listen to. I highly recommend Tom Rosenthal. He's a great musician, and his music is really perfect for the kind of videos I make because they're all quite sentimental and emotional. But besides that, I just go around on SoundCloud and find nice bits of lo-fi or other sort of background bits of music that I feel like will work well with my style. So Henry has asked what my dream video shoot is. It's hard for me to imagine sort of my dream shoot, because whenever I'm thinking up of ideas, I'm always thinking of what I can realistically make just on my own. So it's hard for me to imagine sort of making a feature film, because that's just completely out of the scope of what I think I'm capable of at the moment. But if I was gonna give a sort of feature-length film that I would ideally want to make, I highly recommend watching Faces Places. It's a sort of documentary road trip film where Agnes Varda and JR, they sort of go along on this trip where they talk to people and they make art out of it. And I think it's really beautiful, and it also talks about the relationship between the two of them. And it's this beautiful low-budget film, and that's the kind of thing I think I want to be making in the future. That's my ideal film that I want to make. So that was a bit of a crazy ramble, but I think you get the gist of what I mean. Just realized I haven't really answered the question at all there. Oh well, I'll think about that more in the future. Andreas asks to give some small but great channels to watch. Ooh, this is a problem, because I'm subscribed to about 300 channels on YouTube, and I'm completely addicted to YouTube, so I think I'll make a whole other video about this. Tatiana asks, do you have a favorite juggling trick? So I've been juggling since I was a kid. I've always loved learning new tricks and stuff. I mostly juggle with just balls, but I've done a bit of club stuff, as some people might have noticed in the video where I asked for questions. As for a favorite juggling trick, I've been trying to learn how to juggle with 5 balls for a while now, but it's very difficult. In terms of a 3-ball trick, I quite like, I don't know, I think it's called the Miller's Mess or something like that. It's basically where you cross your hands while you're juggling. I think it looks quite neat, quite cool. It's also really satisfying to do. So Samu asks, what's your exact birth time and place? I'm not going to go that specific, but I was born in the US actually. I was born in Arizona. So I'm actually an American citizen, which can be quite useful sometimes, but also a big pain other times. It's where my sort of funky accent comes from. Do people make videos about their accents, don't they? Maybe I'll do that at some point. Nelly asks, what's your favorite genre of burb? My favorite genre is probably absurdist. I love a good absurdist burb. Yep. This is great content. Million Dreams asks, what do you want to do after graduating? So I'm not actually going to graduate this year. I'm going to do a master's, so I'll be at Cambridge for 4 years in total. But then after that, I have basically no idea what I'm doing with my life. You know, in my dreams, I want to go and make films and do creative stuff for the rest of my life. But at the same time, I also really still enjoy computer science. I know now, and I've realized that I don't really want to go off and be a programmer, so I'm probably not going to go off and work for the software development industry. But I might continue and do a PhD or something. But yeah, basically I have no idea what I'm doing with my life, so Gabe has just put my full name here as a question. It's not really a question, but yeah, that's my name. That's my full name. It's pronounced Zebulon, if anyone's curious. This is one of my youngest brother's friends, and for some reason they just enjoy saying my name all the time, which is, I'm gonna take it as an honor, to be honest. It's an honor to be an in-joke in their friend group. Lola asks, how many book? This much. Sarah asks, career in film versus career in computer science, what would you prefer? So I think I just talked about this a little bit in terms of what I want to do after I graduate. I don't want to have a career in software development, but I might want to stay in academia and continue with computer science. But if I could have a career in film, and by a career in film I mean, you know, a job, a career path that lets me actually make films for a living, then I think I would prefer to do that. The problem is that that's mostly a dream and it's really hard to get into that position, I think. So it's tricky, but I think I would prefer a career in film. Becca asks, if you could do any job in the world, what would it be? Any job in the world? Yeah, I guess just a film director who's given money to make films would be pretty cool. There's some pretty cool jobs out there. Maybe slightly more realistically, but still sort of a big dream. I quite like to work for Vox, be part of their video team. I think they make really amazing documentaries and short videos on YouTube that are really impressively produced. But in terms of a dream job, I think, yeah, just being a film director would be pretty cool. Haley asks, will I be re-dyeing my hair? So all of first year I had brown hair, and then all of second year I had sort of bleach blonde hair like this. So I was considering actually trying to dye the top of my head silver and see how that looked. So stay tuned for that if you want to see how that goes. Haley also asks, how did you find your animation style? I'm glad you asked because there's a video about that coming out tomorrow. So stay tuned. But yeah, I've already actually made that video, but I haven't gone into much detail. So basically, I don't really have an animation style. I'm not very good at drawing. I just came up with some ideas for simple things that I could draw, like simple ways that I could draw me and my brothers, and then I just sort of rolled with that because I'm not a professional and I'm not very good at animating, so I just picked what was sort of slightly easy and expressed the three of us pretty well. Maybe I'll make more animations. Who knows? Who knows what I'm doing with my life? Hey, so I'm just in the middle of editing and I realized I missed a question before when I filmed the main bit, which was, where do you see yourself in 5 years, film-wise or otherwise? And I think the answer to that is probably mostly I have no idea what I'm doing with my life. But hopefully making films or getting a PhD or something, which I think I mentioned a little bit earlier in the video, but yeah, back to the main video. Evelina asks, why did you choose Komsky and not animation/filmmaking at uni? I like how you said animation there as if I'm a professional animator now that I've just made like 3 little experiments. Basically, I never really even considered doing filmmaking or going to film school or any kind of creative university when I was choosing what I wanted to do at university. At that point, I always still considered all of the creative stuff I was doing on the side as just a hobby. It's only recently in the last couple years that I've realized that I could actually turn this hobby into maybe a career. But and I'm gonna try to do whatever I can to see if that's possible. But in the meantime, I'm still quite glad that I decided to do computer science because I enjoy it a lot and it opens up so many other opportunities in case the filmmaking thing doesn't work out. I could go into a whole conversation about whether or not it's a good idea to go to film school, and I think that's quite a complicated topic to go into. But for now, I'll just say that for me, film school probably wasn't the best option. I need to think about this more, I think. Yeah, it's a tricky topic. I'm not going to go into any more detail about it. I might think about it more and then come back to that in a future video, talking about going to film school versus not going to film school. Yeah. Do I have any more questions? Yeah, I think that's all the questions I got. Thank you for everyone who submitted questions. Sorry this video's been a bit of a weird, rambling mess. I didn't script this, which is why it's probably not very coherent. But I hope you got something out of it. And yeah, stay tuned for tomorrow's video, all about the behind the scenes of how I made my last little animation. Cool. Thanks. Bye. Thank you for watching. Title, end screen. Cool. Alright, bye-bye.